Thursday, July the 28th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East along with you on yet another warm and very, very humid morning out there. A couple of web cameras across the state. Well, again, that Avalon Pier web camera not updating of late, but there's the Beach Mountain Parkway cam from resortcams.com. 65 atop Beach Mountain and a steamy 82 here at the 5 a.m. hour there at Kill Devil Hills in the Outer Banks. Another hot, hot day across the Carolinas. And you really notice here across the southeast, we are the core of the heat from the Carolinas down into Georgia and North Florida. That is where the hottest weather has been over the past couple of days. Look at that. 101 in Columbia, 101 in Fayetteville, 97 in Greenville and Jacksonville. How about 98 in Wilmington yesterday? A lot of upper 90s on the board across the Piedmont. 97 in Winston-Salem and Burlington, 96 in Lexington. And then look at this, triple digits in the Charlotte viewing area. 101 in Monroe and Wadesboro yesterday, 100 the high in Rock Hill, 99 in Gastonia, Charlotte, Concord, and Albemarle. And extremely muggy conditions, too. Just a really nasty day to spend extended periods of time outside, really any length of time outside. Temperatures are the 5 o'clock hour, a little bit cooler around the Triad than recent mornings, down to 74, but still 80 in Charlotte, 82 in Charleston and Myrtle Beach, 81 in Wilmington. Dew point temperatures. This has really been the problem with this heat wave. We haven't seen a ton of record high temperatures set across the region. In general, a lot of our highs have been a couple of degrees shy of the records, but it's just been incredibly, incredibly muggy. Dew points have been about as high as they ever get here in our part of the country, and that has just led to some extremely uncomfortable and really dangerously hot and humid conditions. Now, yesterday had a pretty good coverage of thunderstorms around portions of the Triad viewing area. A couple of outflow boundaries from previous storms worked their way into the region, helped to fire off a pretty good coverage of thunderstorms out there. Now you notice down across the southern Piedmont, not a whole lot as we went through yesterday. And I think again today, the further north you go, the better the opportunity will be for thunderstorms as we go through the day. Had a few wind reports over around Pamlico Sound, but certainly the biggest cluster of reports in North Carolina here across the northern Piedmont and the northern foothills. I'll highlight a couple of those reports. Tree down in Rhonda, 650 in Wilkes County. Yadkinville had a tree down around the old US 421 around Forsyth and Guilford County. A couple of reports of some trees down there. And then around the Madison and the Keene communities, you had trees and power lines down as we went through the 6 o'clock hour yesterday evening. This morning, you have a cluster of storms that have been working up through parts of Virginia and West Virginia. And then further to the west, more areas of rain and storms in Kentucky, Indiana, down into Tennessee, and North Mississippi. And if you look carefully, there's a little counterclockwise swirl right here into the Mississippi River. That's a disturbance that's going to move our way, and I believe it's going to focus a pretty good round of storms up into Kentucky and the Virginias, and we will see how far south that complex of storms makes it this afternoon. Futurecast wants to keep most of the activity off to our north, and that's definitely a possibility. Here's the high-resolution modeling. Same idea. A lot of this activity kind of scooting off to the north, but I do think we'll see at least a few thunderstorms making it down into our area, and as we saw yesterday, any storms that do form could produce some damaging winds. Your greatest severe weather threat up into Virginia and the Delmarva Peninsula, but again, a few of these storms could be severe down our way as well. Another hot one, there's your highs. Similar to yesterday, maybe a degree or two cooler, but still very hot. Heat advisories up for many of the same areas as yesterday. In fact, you had a couple of counties added, such as Union and Rowan and Davie County, Cabarrus County compared to yesterday. Stanley County as well. Heat index values over 100, even over 105 at times as the heat and humidity march on across the region. Triad specifically, 97 the high, 74 the low tonight. Again tomorrow, a few afternoon storms a possibility. Still hot. Might be slightly less muggy tomorrow, but still hot. And then over the weekend here, this is Saturday's weather setup. By the afternoon and the evening, some scattered thunderstorms. Your Saturday highs look like that across the region. Sunday, not a whole lot of change either. There's Sunday's highs across the region. Tropical update. Still no immediate signs of development, but all the way over in the eastern side of the Atlantic Ocean, you have the pretty good tropical wave that's emerged off the African coast. And if I can kind of scoot over that way, just at the edge of the satellite imagery here, you can see some of that activity working westward. There's some chance that could try to slowly become a tropical system over the next several days. But again, nothing immediately happening. All right, let's look at the upper level pattern. Here's the European model. Still this ridge playing a part in our weather across the southeast. But with time here, this is a look out at tomorrow and then continuing into the weekend. This is Sunday. A bit of a trough in place, so that'll mean some scattered afternoon and the evening storms. And the heat not quite as bad as what we've had through a lot of this week, but still hot and humid. All right, here's the GFS model. This afternoon, you see the further north and west you go, the better the chance for rain and storms will be. Probably the same idea tomorrow and then tomorrow evening. But again, anybody fair game to pick up a couple thunderstorms. Now, the coverage of storms probably increases a bit for the afternoon and the evening hours on Saturday. There's Saturday and then there's Sunday as well. Monday, this frontal boundary tries to move a little bit off to the south of us, but still, I think at least an isolated storm can't be ruled out. This is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, and then this is Thursday. So still at least a couple storms possible, mainly during the afternoon hours on those days as well. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks so much for watching. Everybody stay safe, stay cool, have a great day, and God bless.